The defining moment for women all worldwide took place last week, and I thought we'd go through a couple of stories relating to it. Firstly, to start off with, which is the Babylon Bee being suspended from Twitter for making a joke. So as you can see here, hi Babylon Bee, your account, the Babylon Bee, has been locked for violating Twitter's rules. Oh no, what did they do? Hateful conduct. Oh, what was that? What was the hate? What was the hate involved? Let's go to the next one, so you can see the meme itself. Babylon Bee's Man of the Year. Yeah, it's the lady, Rachel Levine. Person.
Yes.
But that's the Man of the Year there. So,
person of gender.
Because the Babylon Bee dared to point out the obvious that Benjamin Franklin over here is a dude. Yeah, they got suspended from Twitter, so there's that. But the funny thing is this is haram, but also if we go to the next link, we can see, well, there's also another situation that's going on that's quite haram. So Leah Thomas makes history as first out trans woman to win NCAA swimming championship.
Did they need to specify out trans woman?
Yes. Because
it's like, I don't know if you could see the images of her next to the other competitors. It's pretty hard to conceal.
But why with Pink News here, Pink News being the outlet of the party on intersectional matters,
yes,
had to specify trans woman. Interesting. Why do you say that? Why do you not just say woman if trans women are women?
I thought there wasn't a difference.
Thomas, the swimmer, whose record-breaking times on the University of Pennsylvania team made her a star of college athletics, becoming the first trans athlete to win the NCAA swimming championships. As Thomas swam inside the McAuley Aquatic Center at Georgia Tech, a group of 10 anti-trans protesters stood outside, handing out pamphlets and holding signs reading, "Save women's sports." Ooh, the anti-party activity, the anti-party clique.
That is very haram.
We go to see. Then they say Republican legislators across dozens of states have sought to ban trans athletes from taking part in all girls and women's school sports in recent years as well, saying how horrible that is because, of course, Pink News being the party outlet is very upset about that.
They've got a major advantage or anything.
They're also making the Republicans look good, so that's always nice. When asked for evidence as to why legislating a ban is needed, lawmakers often rely on outdated myths or simply come back empty-handed, right, Pink News, as they tell you a story of a trans athlete breaking records by joining the women's team.
And potentially, as as people seem to be saying, holding back and still breaking records.
While right-wing pundits, including Caitlyn Jenner, right-wing now, okay, yeah,
if you say so.
fully,
Wasn't
completely.
she a progressive idol a few years ago?
Yeah, and then she went, yeah, you know what, Trump's a good guy, so now a heretic. So Caitlyn Jenner, without a hint of irony, right, Pink News, have smeared Thomas's streak of wins as somehow proof women's sports must be protected. Yeah, I wonder how they did that. I wonder how a trans woman turned up, BTFO'd all the women multiple times, and the right wing are able to use that as evidence that maybe something's wrong here.
Maybe.
How did they figure that one?
Maybe if you're going to approach things from the perspective of fairness, something isn't particularly fair in this situation.
Nevertheless, as Thomas overturns record after record, again, with no hint of irony, they write this crap in which they're just like, how can people say that these folks are not as legitimate as any woman? Also, they're breaking every single record we set them. Okay. She has become a vital role model for trans young people across the United States. And this is obviously like reading Pravda. That's why I kept calling them the party outlet, because it's ridiculous.
So, right, that's right. You too can put cis women in their place.
Yes. If we go to the next one, we can see Babylon Bee actually making fun of this as well. After watching Lisa Thomas, a little girl adjusts dream to just winning second place at the Olympics. A role model everywhere. Women can now dream of coming second place in women's sports. And then there are many a meme about this incident because it is utterly ridiculous. If we go to the next view, we can see some of these. So the second image there being Aquamam, of course. It's ma'am. Yeah, let's go to the next one. So there are more memes about this. The strong woman memes, of course, as well. And they are literal reality in this case.
That's not even the best picture from the Leah Thompson. The best one that I've seen is where the three women are huddled together on the third place, just sort of celebrating to themselves, and Leia just looks completely alone and lost.
But here's the thing, it's not the first time, is it? If we go to the next one, I mean, this strong woman meme has been used so many times, it's a meme template at this point. So you can see here, transgender fighter Elena McCaulin wins MMA debut, and then, of course, the strong woman meme right there, doing its work. literally in this case, with the woman who has been beaten to crap.
Yeah, I've just noticed that person is also wearing an End Trans Genocide shirt.
Because the next one, apparently there's some cycling example as well, in which, yep, there again.
Every single time.
Strong woman.
But there's no examples, guys. And don't pay any attention. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain, dressed as a woman.
Good. The next one, of course, we have weightlifting as well. This being Laura Hubbard. It just keeps happening, just every time.
To be fair, with what's the name? Laura Hubbard.
Laura Hubbard.
I think. I think she didn't she like fail out of the Olympics.
Yes, she did lose one event. Although, as you can see in this event, I believe
she seems to have won a few others there.
Sitting there with her 3 gold medals. Yeah, so this keeps happening. And you notice that all of those examples were male to female. Not many examples in the other direction.
No, female to male don't seem to be making many waves in sports.
You would have thought that reality would have shown people that, yeah, maybe it isn't equal. But no, of course not. This is something to accept.
These people can switch reality off.
They certainly can. If you go to the next one, there's also a quite tragic story from that swimming example. NCAA swimmer wants rule change after missing out on finals to Leah Thompson. Quote, "It doesn't promote our sport in a good way, and I think it's disrespectful against the biologically female swimmers who are competing in the NCAA," Groggy said. Groggy being a girl who did not qualify because, well, she was one place below.
Oh.
And therefore lost. Groggy also placed blame on Thomas for her failing to qualify. The Virginia Tech swimmer said she felt the last spot to get on the final was taken from her because of the NCAA's decision to let someone who is not a biological female compete. If we go to the next one, we actually have her making a big fuss about this. So you can see twitter.com here, 140, oh Jesus, just went up, 10,000 likes, 157,000 likes before my eyes. As we see, she says, "My final spot was stolen by Leah Thomas, who is a biological male. Until we all refuse to compete, nothing will change." Absolutely true.
Well, this is very obviously struck a chord with people because people can see with their own eyes what's going on, and no amount of media gaslighting is going to change that.
Reality cannot be silenced. And I also love that she says here, the solution to this is just refusing to compete. Like, no, I'm not taking part in this this competition. If you're just going to let someone who's going to beat me on the basis of their biology in front of me, they're in the wrong platform. Like, if you're a man, you need to compete in the men's section.
I think that's fair. I mean, it's just all the biological women go on strike, and then you will just get men's category plus, basically.
Exactly. But also, it is the right thing to do. If we get to the next one here as well, you can see Caitlyn Jenner selling pink news to Idinahoy. Go away. So Caitlyn Jenner launches yet another disgraceful attack on trans athletes without a hint of irony. Pink news. No, I just had the balls to stand up for women and girls in sport. I do love that wording.
That's fantastic.
That's good, man. Good bants, if nothing else. Because the next one, though, this is a tweet by her that I didn't enjoy. "We need federal legislation protecting women's sports. I am eager and willing to work with members of Congress to put an end to this politically correct woke madness to protect integrity of women in sport." Now, I agree with her sentiment that this thing needs to be protected because otherwise it's not women's sport by definition. But the idea that this is something we need to do, we need to get federal legislation to stop men being in the women's sporting events. I mean, I must say, this is another Andrew Clavin moment where I just look at the right and be like, what is the state of us? Like, we need big government to help us because we can't just say no.
I can see federal legislators slipping a lot in any bill that's trying to pass this sort of thing.
Well, it's not that. It's just I'm disappointed in the fact that we need the government to come and save us from just saying, no, you're a man. It's that simple. Yeah. We never had to do this before. But all of a sudden we're like, no, we need the state behind us to do
I don't know how this works, so if I'm wrong about this, correct me, but surely all you would need is for the sports commissions to have a backbone in this situation and just say, no, we're not accepting you. Obviously, you're still a biological male. That's unfair.
Also, as the lady earlier said, just if you're the athlete, just say no.
Yeah.
Like, no, we're not competing in this. This isn't a fair event. Just go to hell. And I think that's probably the right way to deal with it. If we get to the next one, of course, though, we have ESPN, who have their own opinions, which is to give you a lecture on LGBT thought. Of course, I didn't clip this. I wonder if we can play it, because I should have clipped it, in which it's just very cringe. So the ESPN lady...
Legislation happening in Florida and across other states as well that are targeting our LGBTQI plus communities. Many of our colleagues here at ESPN have planned and organized a walkout that will be happening at 3 p.m. Eastern today. And to be honest with you, we thought we were going to come here today and really celebrate a sport that has meant so much and done so much, including for so many in the LGBTQI plus communities. But we understand the gravity of this legislation and also how it is affecting so many families across this country. And because of that, our allyship is going to take a front seat. And with that, we're going to pause in solidarity.
Well, interestingly, this will be relevant to my segment coming up because ESPN is owned by Disney, don't you know? No, I know.
Oh, interesting.
Always such big coincidences popping up everywhere.
But anyway, yeah, that's in reference to the anti-groomer bill in Florida, in which you can't groom kids and tell them they're trans from the age of 4.
Leftists mad.
And ESPN and Disney and all the rest of them are having to moment of silence for their fellow groomers who are not doing too well.
I'm happy for them to do a walkout, to be perfectly honest, because, out yourselves.
Yeah.
Out yourselves as groomers.
If we go to the next link, there is also more of this. So another example where ESPN did you a big old lecture about how gay thought is important, or LGBT thought, I should say. Because that's the big difference. You have alphabet people and then you have gay people, of course.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for when I tune into my ESPN sports programs is intersectional lectures. Thanks.
Why can't we groom children? More on ESPN coming up.
And maybe some sports somewhere.
Gonna turn it into an event, maybe. If we go to the next one, we also have the heretics who are on the inside of the event. So there's a lady here holding up a sign that says, "Save women's sports. Woman equals adult human female." Glad to see Posey Parker's influence over there in the States. And if we go to the next link, we can see...
It's not... I think that would pop up independently of anyone like Posey Parker just saying it, because it's, like you say, it's self-evidently true. Adult human female equal woman.
You hope so, but it is the symbol of Posey Parker. If we go to the next one, you can see a whole bunch of them as well. And protesting out there with their signs. And as you can see, Posey Parker is also there.
There she is.
So good on her.
Getting
Love
about.
to see her there. If we go to the next link, we can see what Posey was up to because she posts on our YouTube channel, of course. So this is her doing Speaker's Corner at the White House. I don't know if the Americans don't need a Speaker's Corner because they actually have freedom. But this is her just, going and talking about the nonsense that is taking place in society outside the White House here, which was great. And then if we go to the next link, you can see that she then went over and was inside the event as well.
Oh, I've seen a few clips from this.
Yeah, she gets into a fight with some soy boy because of course she does. I thought we'd enjoy that. The audio's a bit rubbish, but I think if we keep silent, you should be able to make out what's being said. So let's play that.
Just can't imagine anyone actually cheering on a man in a women's swim meet. I can't believe you would do that.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, why would you cheer on a man in a women's swim meet? Why do you think that's fair?
What, do you think that's a man?
100% that's a man. He's
What
got a
about me? What
penis.
am I?
I don't care what you are.
You just told your camera that I'm a man.
And?
If I'm a man, then that's a woman.
Well, you're a woman then.
You think I'm a woman?
I don't know what you are. You've got your face covered.
Okay. I didn't realize you could tell what somebody was by just their face.
He's got a penis.
You've examined his genitals?
He's got a penis.
You've examined his genitals.
Oh, you just said his. Thanks very much. Point proven. Thank you so much. That was great. Thanks.
That was fantastic.
You've examined his genitals? His.
Oops.
Right, good.
I like the self-report on just how feminine that man was as well. Well, if that's a man, then I'm a woman as well. It's like, well, yeah, if you want, go for it.
If we're just gonna make stuff up, I'm a deer. You can do this.
Why not? I also heard about the. It might have been the case when Leah Thomas won. Apparently, the crowd, other than like one or two people, was just completely silent. And then the woman got second place, and everyone goes, "Yeah!" because they know that's the real winner. That she is the real winner, whoever came second in that.
Speaking of his genitals, though, let's go to this article, which is labeled, "We're uncomfortable in our own locker room. Leah Thompson's UPenn teammate tells how the trans swimmer doesn't always cover up her male genitals."
Her male genitals.
When changing in the changing rooms, their concerns go ignored by their coach.
We're in Doolah Lally right now.
If you can scroll down on this, John, there is actually some imagery in here that is of interest.
Oh, no,
as well.
Not that kind of imagery, please.
Not that kind, no. We're not looking for that. But if you scroll down, there should be a clip, like the Daily Mail has a little clip in here of a previous event where her is competing. I don't know if that plays. I don't know if it's got blocked. Don't worry about it. But she just outright wins, like ridiculously. And then she sort of just sat there, and then eventually a woman turns up and finishes.
Well, that's the thing I mentioned earlier. I've seen that supposedly, what was Leah Thomas's original name, like Ryan or something like that? Well, when she was still a man, supposedly she was outdoing the times that she got to win the other day when she was still a teenager. And then after that, she was getting like, I don't know if it's the 100 or 500 meters, she was getting like 3 minutes and 26 seconds. And she won by a decent margin in the most recent one with like 3 minutes and 34 seconds.
Like,
so
that's a minute faster than what she just did.
Yeah, she's actively still holding back just to make it not too obvious.
That's what people seem to be saying. I don't know if you can hit mute and then play on that one, because I don't know what the audio is going to be like, John. But if we can play, it would be amazing. Don't worry about it then. Damn it. Apparently the video is not working.
Oh, well.
But you can go check it out in your own time, and it's amazing. So, of course, the party, or the party outlet, being Pink News again, had to try and smear Posey with this.
This is the hill we will die on.
Gender-critical feminist Posey Parker wants men with guns to start using women's toilets.
What? What?
Do you have any idea why Posey might say such a thing? You have it a guess?
I could make a good guess.
Yeah. Quote, Posey Parker implores armed men to start using women toilets to protect them.
Yeah.
Let's play the clip, because Posey had a big idea, and I think we're going to enjoy it.
I had a bit of an idea about some of the things that you can do. And men, for once, I'm talking to you. I'm talking about you dads who maybe carry. I think you should start using women's toilets, men, because you have every right to self-identify. Clearly don't do it and upset women and girls that are already in there, but just make a point of doing it and maybe make the women feel okay about you doing it if you come out and you frighten someone. But it's about time that you started using women's toilets and saying that you identify as a woman if stopped. And I think that's how you're going to that's one of the many ways that you are going to have to combat the insanity of self-ID. Even if it's not called self-ID, that's pretty much what you have now in the United States. And that's how you men are going to help. And there's going to be no excuses. And you either care about the women and girls in your life or you don't. But you are going to start inserting yourselves into spaces that are specifically for women and girls. Maybe you're going to do it when you go to your kids' school and they've had to inject this federal nonsense of accepting boys into girls' spaces. Maybe you need to make a point of saying to the head teacher that you're going to go and use the toilet and ask where the girls' toilets are. And you're going to make this really embarrassing for everybody who's going along with it.
I mean, malicious compliance.
I like how far that this has gone. Is that feminists, like you could call classical feminists now, are advocating for a return to.
Sorry,
they're advocating for a return to like patriarchal structures of the benevolent patriarch protecting the women and girls. You know.
Well, yeah, I mean, but also,
and I think it's a good thing.
The tactic there being, of course, as previously as well, which is just like malicious compliance. Like, okay, well, we don't need the state to come in and protect us here. Come on, like this is the simplest thing. It is just to mess around with these people or just say no. I mean, if you're the competitors in that sport, and then someone turns up who's clearly shouldn't be
a foot taller than you,
yeah, just say no. Just no, it's not happening. And then if the entire team just go, no, we're not competing, and it's just them, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? Air the footage? No, they're going to be far too embarrassed. They're either going to do something or something will change in the culture over time. And there's also the example she gives there of what she promotes, which is, just malicious compliance. Just tell them, be like, where's the little girls' room?
Yeah. Okay.
With your AK on your back, I don't know. Anyway.
I need to unload.
This is all kind of funny, and it's bad for people in sport, of course, and women's sport there. But this culture of self-ID obviously penetrates much further. And I thought we'd not enjoy, but at least learn of a case in which this goes horribly wrong as well, of course. All thanks to these ideologues. They can have this rape on their minds as well. They did this. So this is a story which a member of the House of Lords decided to give in talking about the fact that self-ID was being accepted in the UK. And let's hear it.
A rather wonderful lady. I can't say who she is. She was raped about a year ago in a hospital by a man. There's only one way of having rape in Britain, and that is male on woman. You can't rape if you don't have the structure of a male. she naturally reported it to the police. The police spoke to the hospital, and the hospital informed the police that there was no male in the hospital, therefore the rape couldn't have happened. They forgot there was television, nurses, and observers, as it were. Nonetheless, it's taken nearly a year for the hospital to agree that actually there was a male in the ward, and yes, this rape happened. During that year, my friend, by email, and it's all recorded, I know where the case is, I know who the police are, I know which the hospital is, I know everything on it, because she's given me the full case to make sure I knew what she was saying and that it was true. During that year, she's almost come to the edge of a nervous breakdown because being disbelieved at being raped in hospital has been such an appalling shock. Now, the hospital, with all the CCTV, actually have had to admit that the rape happened, that it was by a man, and therefore the police have changed their tune and have become enormously supportive and helpful, and the case is going ahead. But this has arisen directly from Annex B. The result of Annex B is that hospital trusts have informed ward sisters and nurses that if there is a male as a trans person in a female ward and a female patient or anyone complains, they must be told that that is not true. There is no male there.
Insane.
It is.
I mean,
it's
absolutely insane.
Honestly stomach churning listening to something like that happen.
I mean, this isn't the first time either. And Loudon County is probably the most famous example, at least in the United States, in which the school tried to cover it up because they were embarrassed. Well, they were embarrassed.
Well, it makes the wrong people look bad.
It made the ideology look bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they had pushed this all through. All of it was needless. All of it was easily preventable. And instead, they let it go on. And now in the NHS as well, in which we have an instance in which a woman was raped and then was denied that this ever took place. The NHS staff were instructed to deny reality because the party said so. And then a year later, they finally have to accept reality because reality cannot be silenced.
Yeah, but for that year, that woman who was raped did not receive any justice whatsoever.
Not only that, she was lied to. Like,
Yes.
she was told, no, you weren't raped. Like, yes, I was.
Gaslit by the institution that should have protected her.
Person that raped you was a woman. Raped you with her penis.
Well, she couldn't have raped you then.
Mad.
Vile.
Absolutely mad. So anyway, that's where this leads. Oppose it at all costs. If you appreciated that segment from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, you can go to lotuseaters.com to get access to all the premium content we have on the site, such as the book club series we do, this one on Lawrence Wright's The Looming Tower, Al-Qaeda's Road to 9/11 that me and Bo did together. If you want to follow what else I'm putting out, you can follow me at Getter at Callum on Getter. Thank you and goodbye.